and welcome to coverage of the TCGplayer MaxPoint Championship. We're in Indianapolis, and we are in the late stages of the Swiss portion of this tournament. Nathan Ball on 10-2-1, sitting on 31 points, starts off with a Thoughtseize against Andrew Baeckstrom.
I like Andrew's
who's
hand
11-2.
I think he needs a couple things. Like, I think you probably take the Rival Master here. But the Chain of the Rocks, you need a Plains for it. You need a couple more lands for Sarkhan, but this is, all in all, it's those are some good cards, and
Seems sweet.
He can cast 2 of them immediately, so seems like a solid keep. He takes Hordeling Outburst, so he probably has a single spot removal for the Rival Master.
Right, and that is the tough thing about Hordeling Outburst, is that it's very difficult to answer with one card. While it's not, you know, super powerful, making 3 1/1s, you can often run them over, force chump blocks at some point.
Yeah.
But you know, in an aggressive deck like Nathan's, I mean, he's very likely going to play a 2-drop of Fleecemane Lion here, maybe a Rakshasa Death Dealer. All right, it looks like it's the Death Dealer. Yeah, and you know, he doesn't want to have the board clogged up in a turn or two by that Hordeling Outburst.
Yeah. And he has no problem blocking a Goblin Rival Master token. So. Right. But I mean, one of the good things about Andrew Baeckstrom's deck is that it's had a ton of removal. Lightning Strike kills most of Nathan Ball's early creatures. Crackling Doom is going to kill the biggest creature. Chain of the Rocks kills any of his creatures. You know, except maybe a monstrous Fleecemane Lion. But I mean, yeah, it feels like as so long as, and that was perfect draw. The Battlefield Forge actually lets Andrew cast the Chain of the Rocks.
Wow.
Which is a perfect draw.
And here's a Thoughtseize.
All right, so.
And Crackling Doom.
Yeah, he drew a Crackling Doom that we were just talking about. If I was Nathan, you might just take that because it's his only removal spell. Right.
I mean, again, the assumption here is that Nathan Ball is going to be able to follow up with something. Maybe a Fleecemane Lion. He's only got a Windswept Heath there, so he can go get a Plains and play a Fleecemane Lion.
And he takes Rival Master.
Yeah, he might not have that.
Because before he had the Death Dealer to block the token, but now it's just like he gets a token, then can't deal with it, so he gets another token for free. That's 2 tokens.
Right. If he had a Fleecemane, I think he would have gone the other route, but he doesn't have it.
And you got to feel comfortable in your Andrew Baeckstrom, like knowing Nathan with the aggressive deck has no pressure, and you can kill whatever he plays with a Crackling Doom.
No kidding. Nice spot to be if you're a mid-range mage like Andrew Baeckstrom.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's a very unexciting Era of the Wilds here, but do you think he just fires off the Crackling Doom now?
Probably.
I mean, you can wait.
You can wait, but I mean, you're also trying to play Sarkhan, so you don't want them to get too many creatures on the board. Yeah, you're just going to fire it off here.
Okay, so he's just going to manage the board state here, get rid of that guy. All right.
Because the clearer the board is when Sarkhan comes down, the longer he's going to live, and the better his ability is. Because you don't, if you want to kill one of his creatures, and the fact that he had a Sorin is just even better.
Yeah.
15, 11.
Yeah, if I saw that, like, it wouldn't have even been close. You know, like if you see the Sorin, you're like, oh, kill the Crackling Doom your guy, and then play a Sorin on a clear board.
That does seem great, especially with Sarkhan waiting in the wings too.
Yeah, cracks too. Nathan's at 9. Crackling Doom and fetch lands and 2 Thoughtseizes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's oof. Yeah, he had to tap 1 Caves of Coalesce to play a Thoughtseize, so that was 3. Another Thoughtseize was 2. 2 Windswept is 2 more, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7. 2 from Crackling Doom, that's 9. That's
wow. That is added up very fast. All right, I do see a Caleb Durward walking out of the hall here, so they must have taken an intentional draw.
I wonder if they drew as well. Caleb was in 4th, it looks like?
Yes, 4th on 33 points, so that puts him at 34.
And a Sorin of his own here. Yeah, I think he had to play the Caves. He had to tap the Caves for the Rakshasa Death Dealer as well.
Yes.
And then he had to tap. What did I? I think he saw. I think Sarkhan came into play and he just scooped. He was just like,
wow,
okay.
I mean, he was at 8, right?
Yeah.
He didn't even like make him attack something specific, or
no. Okay. I guess he knew he just couldn't deal with Sarkhan. He had no answers in hand, so. Man, that was a quick game from Andrew Baeckstrom. And the aggressive deck
weird, because it felt like Andrew was like maybe a half step behind, but actually Nathan's life total was just plummeting that whole time.
I feel like the damage being dealt in Standard right now is getting very close to the damage that's dealt in Modern.
It does
like
feel
we
like
don't have Shocklands, but we have pain lands that deal consistent damage over time, and we also have fetch lands, which just to crack them you have to take damage.
Right, and then we've got Mana Confluence floating around.
Yep, Mana Confluence is another card that's going to deal
incidental damage from cards like
Thoughtseize.
Like Thoughtseize, right? Yeah. And I wasn't even thinking of that. I was talking about the what's it called, the Crackling Doom too.
Oh yeah, two damage here, two damage there. It definitely adds up.
That's true. Yeah, and even like we've also seen like in Nathan's deck, I'm sure he's running Herald of Torment as well, which can chip away at one's life total all the time.
Yeah, he has 4 Herald of Torments in his main deck.
It is interesting.
He also has Abzan Charm, so if he wants to draw cards with Abzan Charm, he's going to take more damage there. He also has Ulcerate, same as Mike Segrist from the Pro Tour. And yeah, if he plays that, another 3, so. And the thing is, like, if you're playing, like when you're playing Crackling Doom, like you have to, you're walking into the format and being like, well, you have the same opinion that the burn decks have in Modern. Like, you're going to take 6, 8 damage from your lands alone. I only have to deal 12 to 14 damage to you. You know, and it feels like you're able to do that with the Crackling Dooms and things. But if you don't like Crackling Doom and you want to get rid of it, you can sell it on TCGplayer.com. So, you know, you can list your items. The public is now able to list their items. So not only storefronts can list items on TCG Player, you can as well. You just enter the card name, enter the quality of the card, and how many you have to sell. You can match lowest price to compete with the market and sell your cards easily on TCGplayer.com.
Then what happens? Like you get an email saying, "Hey, your card sold.
Yep.
Ship it."
You get an email. You have to ship it within 2 business days. It gives you the address. You send it off. If it's under 25, you don't have to use tracking. If it's over 25, we recommend that you use tracking, and it's very simple. Then you get direct paid through the site. So we send a direct payment to your bank account that you register when you sign up. So.
That sounds like a nice setup.
It's real sweet. It's very simple.
It's not LSU. Ole Miss is playing LSU. You guys have a week off?
No, our week off was last week.
So still working on the old sideboard here.
Must not be anybody any good. That's kind of hard to believe when you're playing in the SEC.
This is actually taking forever.
Yeah, and like Nathan didn't get one of the most aggressive starts for his deck. And that's one of my concerns with the Mardu midrange list is that most of the removal costs 3. Like Crackling Doom costs 3, Hero's Downfall costs 3. We have 4 Lightning Strikes and 3 Chain to the Rocks. But you know, you have to draw a plane, you have to draw a mountain and a white source. Sometimes, I mean, Lightning Strike's probably one of your best removal spells, let's be honest.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out how many. 2 Magma Jets. So he has the updated list. Brad Nelson updated the list, and it definitely has. It has 2 Magma Jets and 3 Sarkons. He took out the Wingmate Rocks, which was Brad's suggestion, and I personally don't know if I agree with that. I think Wingmate Rock is just a haymaker. And you have 2 Goblin tokens. You attack with 1, play a Wingmate Rock, and you're pretty much locking up the game at that point.
Yeah, it also is one of the ways that the deck can come back from being way far behind, right?
Right, exactly. And the life gain is not irrelevant. Like having a way to gain life, like during a turn, it's not irrelevant.
It matters.
Yeah, it definitely matters. So I mean, you know, I can't even wonder. Like, this is only one side, so we don't have the full sideboard for him, but. With Andrew Baeckstrom, we have 3 Read the Bones, 2 Glare of Heresy, 2 End Hostilities, 3 Anger of the Gods, 2 Utter End, 2 Chandra, and 1 Elspeth. So, again, the point of the deck is you basically want to board into a more controlling deck.
Yeah, it's brutal. So, what?
So you bring in like
for Baeckstrom?
Yeah, Andrew's probably going to bring in End Hostilities. Probably going to bring in Glare of Heresy, surprisingly, because it deals with Fleeceman Lion and Offenza. It deals with Siege Rhino and Wingmate Rock.
Oh, wow.
It also gets rid of Sorin as well. So it's actually a pretty versatile card right now. A lot of the best like swingy cards in the format are white cards. So being
and for only 2 mana.
Yeah, just being able to exile them is just huge. He also has Anger of the Gods, which probably comes in. He probably brings in the 1 Elspeth because he's going to be the more controlling deck. You just want to deal with all of Nathan's creatures, preferably on an X for 1 basis. Like with End Hostilities, you're going to want, and that's the great thing about that is if he happens to bestow a Herald of Torment,
oh wow,
you can just End Hostilities and it gets rid of both.
That's nasty.
You get no 3/3 flyer left behind.
It's like that's the whole incentive to play that.
Yeah, that's the best part of the bestow is that you get it, and then Wizards is like, no, not with this one though.
Yeah, I guess, and then the second best thing being that you get the sort of the haste feel of it, right, where it enables an attack that you might not have had right now for a lot more power.
Like they'll kill it, and since the card was in play, you can still attack with it. Or if they if they were to sweep it on their turn, you get to untap and attack with the creature already in play. So yeah, a bunch of benefits from like having a creature already on the board at that point.
It feels like this sideboarding session has taken as long as the game.
It almost is.
Like we showed that commercial. We showed.
We've been chatting for a while.
We've been chatting it up. We've got some sideboard chatter out of the way. Some
I feel like
decks, some what would you change about the deck?
now they're shuffling each other's decks.
Yes, like you do.
All right, so looks like that was quick.
Right. Looks like they're about ready to rumble.
Let's resolve these mulligans. Get going. All 7. How do you feel about the not looking at your hand until your opponent decides to mulligan?
I'm okay with it.
I don't know. It feels like it's just slow.
It is slightly slower. I assume that you need 10 seconds to decide if you're going to mulligan, another 5 seconds to look at your cards. I like the idea that you're just making sure that your opponent doesn't get a feel for if you're excited about your hand or not. So like it's a small time investment.
If Frank is listening.
So you have a suspect hand, right?
Yeah.
I look at my hand, and I'm like, oh, this hand's awesome. I'm definitely keeping. Does that make you more or less inclined to mulligan?
It makes me more inclined to mulligan. Yeah.
Because like I think there's two sides to that. One, like you could want to mulligan less because you're like, there's no way I can beat a great hand on 6 cards. But then there's no way I can beat a great hand with
the junker.
These 7 cards.
Yeah. Like for sure if I believed you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like if I'm just being honest.
If you were just like, look, my hand's very good.
Yeah. Then you're just like
we're play testing or something.
Right.
And you're just like, my hand's very good, and you're going to need something strong to beat it.
So you're just like, nope, going to 6. Right. I will.
The reality is that read almost never comes into play, but it's sort of a small edges kind of principle, that kind of thing.
Well, not only so much just as a read, but as like if you're like at F&M and your opponent's like, oh yeah, keep, like they snap keep, let's say. And I'm like still thinking about mulliganing. I'm like,
you mean like if they keep out of turn, sort of?
Well, if they're choosing to go first.
I see. Okay.
Like how ecstatic they are to keep, whether it makes you more or less inclined to mulligan.
Yes.
A suspect hand.
Yeah, slightly more. Not a lot.
Okay.
I mean, I think the vast majority of that decision is going to be wow, that was a timely lightning strike.
Yep, that is the lightning strike we were discussing. How it just kills the creatures he has, and Murderous Cut is also very good. This looks like an excellent hand for Andrew. I would not want to see this hand from Nathan.
Wow, it's got a little bit of everything, doesn't it?
It has 2 more removal spells, which is great. It has 4 lands. 1 is a scry land. So next turn he can play Seeker of the Way and cast a scry land.
Yep.
And he just has to get rid of the Elspeth. That's not even coming into play for 4 more turns.
Wow.
But he probably doesn't have an answer for it.
Oh, no land, no play? Or is he on the draw this game?
He was on the play. So there it is.
He may have got away with a little something there.
What do you mean? What did you say?
Well, he said go.
Oh, okay.
And then he was untapping, and he's like, wait, I want to play my land. Looks like he got it. Yeah, go to my second main phase. There was an ellipsis in there you did not hear. Yeah.
So it looks like Nathan Ball also brought in a Johnny here, so he's probably also being a little more mid-rangey himself. And is this a Siege Rhino? It is.
Okay, well, back on track here. Yes, it is. And that also ensures that he will draw a Siege Rhino next turn because, as you noted, they come in packs.
They're pack creatures.
Pack animal.
But Crackling Doom says you just take 2 instead of gaining 3.
20, and you're at 16.
So you net 1. And then Seeker of the Way deals 3, Andrew gains 3. So it almost negates the entire attack.
Yeah, the whole Siege Rhino thing is kind of behind him now.
Yeah, Nathan actually took 5 instead of gaining 3, he took 2, and Andrew stayed the same.
All right, this is an interesting one. He's just going to put a Johnny right up to 5 here.
5 is high for a planeswalker.
It is.
Especially when you're like he whiffed. And he's going to take a look a couple more times. He's like, let me just make sure.
Wow.
Let me make sure again.
That's the second time we've seen a Johnny whiff on camera.
Yeah, I mean, 4 cards is not a tremendous amount when you're looking for a very specific creature or planeswalker. I mean, Nathan has a ton of creatures in his deck, but it's very possible to whiff, I think.
You can find an aura.
Or an aura as well. But the funny thing is, Banishing Light is not an aura. So if he brought any Banishing Lights in, you're not going to find those.
It's kind of annoying.
It's funny because Banishing Light's not an aura, but Chain to the Rocks is.
It is. It enchants a mountain.
That's correct, yeah. So you have to put it on a card. If a card comes into play that you put on a card.
All right, so Andrew Baeckstrom is going to put a lot of pressure on Johnny here, taking him down to 2.
Yep.
With the attack, and also setting up a scenario where it's going to be pretty tough for Nathan to deal with this board state.
Yeah, I feel like Andrew's in a commanding lead this game.
I do too. Ooh, there goes.
2 whiffs.
Wow, what is going on?
And I think there were 2 Drown in Sorrows.
I know.
And I wonder if when he sideboarded, he diluted the concentration of creatures in his deck.
I wonder if he did too now.
He might have taken out like the Heralds of Torment, or like a couple of Heir of the Wilds or something. So you go down from 22 creatures to 16, and it makes a difference.
Wow, that end hostilities in Andrew Baeckstrom's hand is just becoming less and less relevant, and as he gets further and further ahead, he just drew.
Yeah,
Butcher.
but I feel like that says something. Like if your sweeper cards are looking worse for you, that often means you're ahead.
Yes.
So that's good.
Standard winter box.
I think Andrew's like, I could have worse problems right now.
Please report to the side event stage. We'll get your event here started in just a moment.
Unfortunately, Murderous Cut does not kill on a Johnny.
Please report to the side event stage.
If you're Andrew, do you just wonder what Nathan has to have 5 mana up and pass?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're wondering about like how many of my creatures are going to die here.
Yeah. Do you attack with everything into a Johnny?
Well, now you got the Butcher. It does change things a little bit.
I think he said all at you. Oh, Hero's Downfall. Kill that guy. All right. I think his other card is a Hero's Downfall as well. It looked like it was 2.
You were right, though. He did actually go all at Nathan Ball. Very aggressive play. Leaving a Planeswalker on the battlefield is always sketchy business.
It would have put Nathan at 7.
Kill him next turn.
Yeah, so it's a 2-turn clock.
Right, now he's found everything. He found a Siege Rhino. He found a Sorin.
Yeah, there's literally like 3 cards that he can pick here. It's like a Siege Rhino, a Sorin, and something else.
Got to be a Siege Rhino here, right?
Yeah, I think he just needs the life.
Yeah, buoy that life total and also get something in the way of that stupid Seeker of the Way.
Block the ground guys pretty effectively with that guy.
That's a nice rip. He's passed? Oh, he's got a Hero's Downfall. He's got the other Hero's Downfall. Yeah, okay. Baeckstrom will now be keenly aware of that fact.
Yeah, so if Baeckstrom has a way to kill your Siege Rhino, then you just have no defenses. And then your Secret of the Way is a 3/3, so you can actually kill your Johnny. It just, I agree with that play. I think keeping it up is fine.
You're kind of priced into firing it off on the Seeker of the Way here, though, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like no sense in taking damage from it or letting Johnny get whacked. So I guess the 2 on the left are going into Johnny?
I don't know. That was a very distinct attack. Yeah, like he
silenced the believers.
Interesting. Okay.
I go to 11.
That's exiled. Not sure if it's relevant.
Johnny takes 1 here, one way or another. It does.
And okay, Lightning Strike
to finish it off.
That seems good. I feel like it had to be done eventually. You don't want no 100 life shenanigans happening.
Or just him drawing extra cards. I mean, he whiffed twice, but he hit the last time, and he could easily hit again. And there's Siege Rhino. So Nathan Ball has worked this board state back into his favor with a Siege Rhino facing down a couple of Goblins, and now it's on Andrew Baeckstrom to find something, but you know what he's doing. Now he's on plan B with that end hostilities. He's hoping that Nathan Ball slams some big creature.
Yeah, and now it's, and see, this is what we're talking about. Like, once your board starts dwindling away, like, the end hostilities is a nice insurance plan.
It is.
I'm gonna reset us back to 0.
So both of them are going to get in. Now, he doesn't have to use end hostilities just to kill the Rhino, does he?
Nah, he's fine with that. He's like, I'll just pass here.
He's at 16. He wants to get a little more value out of it. Plus, he's only trading 2 damage for 4 damage, which won't benefit him in the super long term, but he's keeping up for the moment.
Looks like Nathan...
It's a Wingmate Rock.
Yep, that's what I was looking at, too.
You saw that, too?
So...
Don't do it. He wants to do it.
He wants to do it
really
bad.
Tempting to do it.
He's like, there's no way Andrew has an end hostility. Like, it's not a card you just assume that the Mardu midrange deck has, though.
Yeah, post board, like, it's certainly possible. It's just, you don't know for sure. I mean, I think the lists that we've seen have it.
Oh, he just utter ends
he's just going to get him here.
That's fine. Because even if he Wingmate Rocks, I'm still fine with end hostilities. It's a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
And now he actually can't raid the Wingmate Rock,
No,
which makes it weaker in general.
Oh. But that's on 4.
That you might... I would have actually probably waited one more turn for that guy.
If you can find a land drop?
Yeah. Just because like being able to monsters at the same turn is just huge. Real hard to deal with that
I
guy.
guess if you're playing against Crackling Doom, it's less relevant.
That's true, yeah, and he is,
He happens to have it here, but like either way.
That's one of the best answers to the monstrous Fleecemane line, actually.
Right. So by the way, Nathan Ball's at 6.
Yeah, this is...
like tick-tock.
Yeah, and like we said, the 2 damage from Crackling Doom, he's definitely probably not going to draw cards with that.
Just because you think it'd be too much big of a hit.
Yeah, you don't want to go to 4.
Total.
And then another 2 from the Goblins, which he's just Wingmate Rock. He has Utter End in here.
Utter End that thing, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is turning into a beating here from Baeckstrom, who's just riding these Goblin tokens. Yeah, just every turn.
That's an Anger of the Gods in his hand, it looks like. He's like, I have nothing else to do.
Baeckstrom has Anger of the Gods and hostilities, and he's ahead on board.
No, okay. And
yeah. That's
Hero's downfall.
That's going to change the clock dramatically. He kind of had to do it.
Well, those goblins were heroes, that's for sure. So Nathan's at a point where he actually can't cast Abzan Charm or use any of his pain lands for colored mana.
No. He could have cast Abzan Charm there, but he would have needed to find a blocker for the goblin.
Oh yeah, you would have had to draw. And he drew a Fleecemane line, so it would have been there. But... Or a Rakshasa Death Dealer.
Is that what it was?
As soon as he cast Wolf, yeah, okay. I thought it was a Fleecemane line, but then he pulled a blackout, and I was like,
no, you're right. It was Fleece. Does he have the mana? No, right?
He does not have a white source that he. Well, yeah, he doesn't have a green source that he can actually use without dying.
I mean, he could.
Oh, he could use it and then be able to block.
He would be at 1. He can block anyway, I suppose. This is going to get sketchy, though. Of course, any Crackling Doom just ends the game on the spot.
Yeah, it's... I mean, two are in Baeckstrom's graveyard right now, so it's not a super huge threat. That's just things. That could be the game if Nathan does not have a...
Yeah, the question is, if you're Andrew Baeckstrom, do you go for it here? I guess so, right? What is that Goblin doing anymore? You just sack it, give it haste, and battle for potential win.
He has an Abzan Charm, so he's going to sack that. Cast it
because he needs green.
Yeah.
Well, because he's going to pay 1 life for this green, but that way he doesn't have to pay the life anymore on the Llanowar waste. So, okay, go to 1. I mean, I guess 1 and 0 are huge difference, and 2 and 1 are about the same anyway. So,
yeah, everything that would kill Nathan at 2 kills him at 1 as well. So.
All right, so down goes Butcher of the Horde, and is this little lion?
Oh, Anger of the Gods.
No,
so
little lion just
we're at parity now.
But Baeckstrom still has cards in here.
Yeah, Baeckstrom's in a really good position right now.
And there's an Abzan Charm off the top, which isn't the worst.
Oh, Crackling Doom, you have no creature. I was literally just going to say, I know we've been talking about Crackling Doom a lot, but one of the best parts of that card is that you don't actually have to have a creature. Like, if you have nothing, it's still going to shock you. So even against the control decks, it's not dead.
All right, so Andrew Baeckstrom looks like he's in really good shape for top 8. That puts him on 36 points. If he can pick up a draw next round, he's going to be in.
I would imagine if he can just draw next round, he is a lock for the top 8.
It does get interesting if he gets matched up against like Durward or whoever. Durward, I think he played against Cody Lingenbach. If they actually find out that they need to play, it could get a little awkward.
If he gets paired against someone who can't draw.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that kind of plays out. So all right, let's jump over to our other match where we've got blue-black.
Blue-black control on the left.
Right. Which is Dan Zider.
Dan Zider, yeah. Dan actually just had me sign that hat that we were talking about earlier.
What is it again?
It's a League of Legends hat.
A League of Legends.
And it's Rashad knew. I forgot what it was, though.
I thought he just made that
hat. That crazy hat.
Oh, it's
a Ramus?
Or whatever? All right, yeah. Right.
A Ramus. Or a Gramus. Or a Grimace. It's purple. Could be a Grimace.
It's Grimace.
All
right, good
that is
timing.
A handshake.
So
wow.
Zider falls.
Caleb, was that Caleb?
No, that was, I believe.
That was not, yeah, I just saw an Ashcloud Phoenix winning
Jamie
a game.
Combs over there.
Yeah, okay. I saw an Ashcloud Phoenix, so I was like, well, maybe that's Caleb.
Oh no, it looks like it was Flickinger. Eric